Bueno, saludos bajaditos, ¿cómo están? Espero que muy bien. Soy yo, el gran y positivo Lord River Mordecai 888. Y como veis, estamos aquí una vez más en Star Wars. En Star Wars Empire por Thumbs Events. Thumbs. Y a diferencia de la antigua versión, esta sí la voy a completar. De hecho, no falta mucho para el final de la serie. Hoy no sé, para lancé futuras temporadas de esto. De esto, pero por ahora. Que está en la Nueva República. República y el remanente imperial. Hay otras dos facciones. La Nueva República básicamente es la Unión de Rebeldes, así que no. Yo soy del Imperio. Yo soy 100% imperial. Yo. Y ya sabéis que conmigo están mis dos grandes amigos. El comandante Rigby. Saludos, saludos pajaritos. Y. Y por supuesto, la comunidad Margaret. Saludos pajaritos. Aquí. Y esto, como ya os dije, es. Estamos en Vaya por Thumbs Events. Thumbs. Y la 6 no falta mucho para que se termine. Esto fue. Como ya les dije a los otros dos. Fue que nada, ayer me quedé dormido en medio de la grabación y como yo considero mala educación dormir si te estás grabando algo, pues. Todavía aparte que era muy largo. Y estar sobao en un vídeo así largo y lucho y no diga nada, al fin y al cabo vas a ser aburrido. Así que para compensar vamos a ver aquí dos vídeos. Uno para lo del martes y otro para ser hoy. Y antes de comenzar, tengo que decir que yo les enseño cómo hay luces. Aparte que si queréis ver más contenido de mi canal, pues os digo que haced lo siguiente, suscribíos y dadle a like. Si os gusta vídeos como los demás que hago. Les considero que no os suscribáis a un canal por ver un solo vídeo. Veo, no sé, 5 o 10 como Premiere. Y si os gustan los vídeos y si os gustan esos vídeos, al menos la mayoría, os suscribís. A mí en este caso trato de hacer los vídeos más cortitos para evitar. Y con cortes, porque así más gente que los ve así. Unless when Waylawful put them in, he upped the probability of the sound effects playing, because other factions don't do it. And it's not just that it's a fewer number of sounds, like there's always one playing, which there normally isn't for other stuff. So I have to look at that. Will Wedge get the Lusankia, or is he still in room spot? I can't remember if we killed Lusankia or what. I know we killed the Viscount. I think we killed Lusankia as well. Alright, we should be safe to get a bit closer to the Golan now.
got one of those. Alright, never mind. Ground units will not.
Vale, al fin se retiran los cobardes. Esos rebeldes de mierda, los traidores.
Lost a Furrow, but that's their...
Vale, aquí ya la cosa se comienza a poner interesante porque ya hay en todas así de los grandes. Este de aquí, que no es uno cualquiera, es uno de gran nivel. Y aparte que veo que es nuevo. Y lo otro es un executor, prácticamente. Es un executor. Uy, lo siento, joder. Otra batalla, otra batalla. Vale, eso es lo mismo. Bassbound.
Hello, Case Shizzle. Alright, I think we need this fleet with the other fleet, and then we're coming back.
Otra actividad táctica.
Yeah, the Praetor's shooting a bit, but it's not moving. I don't think it's stuck. I think it thinks it wants to be there. The fact that it's not moving, that it's not like turning, is potentially stuck. Right. The poor warlords. They did their job. Okay, let's get some fighters in just in case it
Se hagan ejecutores desde cerca.
some of the weapons
Porque otros
might
tienen que
decide
ocupar
to target
de esa otra nave. De esa otra nave ahí, que esa también va a ser
our capital ships.
peligrosa. O sea, hay que hacer focuseo en el executor.
Throwing a chessy fit right there. Okay, you're gonna focus on the Praetor.
Cosa que el ejecutor
which they have
es
several more.
una nave que fue hecha para Darth Vader. Es como una nave insignia del Imperio Galáctico. Lo que está aquí ahora es el remanente imperial. Y ahora el otro, que es el Imperio de la mano, que es el...
Some more fighters for us. Some weak turbo lasers on that side. But I do want to make sure that the Praetor is taking some damage. Fried potato. Our poor warlords. Pull you back much at all.
Retírate.
Pull the...
Y ustedes ahí
You're just gonna die. They have a ton of ships after
pueden
this, so this is definitely gonna be
hacerle
a
escolta.
so maybe it's better to just leave that Praetor alone right now. We'll just let this one. I'm not sure which one this is.
No, esta nave la vamos a perder.
This is Blue
Ay, me cago en todo.
It's gonna have to die. But we can also bring in Leonidas at the back.
Luego tenemos unas 3 más. Así que tú vení y ataca al executor una vez por todas. Antes de que te mate a ti. Antes de que te mate. Debo sobre todo atacar de mientras. Ataca. No ver, se va girando, que tarda una eternidad en girarse. ¿Qué tal? No sé, pero el ejecutor con los putos asteroides y estar hecho mierda ya. Vale, por favor, gírate. Lo bueno es que el ejecutor está tocadísimo. Está tocado. Y golpe tras golpe, pues al final lo vamos a destrozar. Y más con el focuseo y más. Esa ahí está en las últimas. Está en su... No sé, yo no creo que ya la ha bajado. No, todavía no. ¡Ay, se ha girado el puto! Se ha girado el ejecutor, me cago en ti. Y 1.000.000 de veces. Pero ahí todo eso es un puto bug. Eso es un puto bug de los cojones. Hostia. Ustedes dos, ¿qué opináis de esto? Yo opino que deberían arreglar el mío, que digan resolver esa falla de sí tremenda. Tremenda y evitar que esto vuelva a pasar más veces, pero Riby, cállate. Esto es un videojuego, no hay por qué. No hay por qué hacen todo a no ser que te hagan perder. Sí, es cierto. Aparte de eso, el ejecutor está casi hecho mierda. Y le falta nada. Sí, le falta nada para hacerse mierda. Bien dicho, Capitana Margaret. Bien. Y se van como maricones. Bueno, pillo más el enemigo. Estoy haciendo victoria alto precio. Joder, los impotes se están recuperando. Me cago en todo. Y ahora están en el centro. Ahora están en el centro galáctico. Joder, ¿qué hacemos? La galaxia está hecha un caos. Lo bueno es que tenemos una buena flota. Sabemos dónde estamos nosotros. Entonces, los azules somos nosotros. Los verdes son los impostores. Bueno, sí me van a limpiar, pero no van a llevar impostores porque los imperiales somos nosotros. Y los planetas así como amarillos son de la Nueva República, que ya son pocos. Los impostores están comiendo el terreno. Mientras tanto nosotros se los comemos a ellos. Todo está yendo como yo les predije. Que vamos a ganar. Está clarísimo. Vamos a ganar. Vamos. Sí, eso está clarísimo. Vamos a ganarle a esos impostores y a la Nueva República. ¡Hail Lord Mordecai! ¡Hail Lord! Bien hecho por decirle el Hail. Como si fuéramos nazis. Pero bueno, es granitud. Bueno, ya que somos un imperio, hay que... Para empezamos a decirle el Hail al público y con un saludo fascista ahí.
It would only be 3 Praetors if I had finished off that other one. Right. I just want to leave.
Joder, darle al puto Venador Class. Esa nave también es viejísima y es de la guerras clon y es de la guerra. Es como si fuese en los tiempos de... Parece como si fuera de la guerra civil española o a ese nivel. Ese nivel de vejez, a ese nivel. Recordad que estamos en 2021. Recordad que estamos en 2020.
Okay, let's see what's going on at Dalamar.
Más o menos un cuarto de siglo de 2020, del siglo XX. Más o menos un cuarto siglo XXI. Todavía falta 3 cuartos más. Hasta llegar al 2100. Que parece que entonces ya esté muerto. Y si no, sería un milagro, sería un anciano.
45, 13.
Me aseguro que para 2100 esté muerto ya. Esté muertísimo ya. Esté muertísimo para ese año. Joder, los putos impostores. Ya sabes qué hacer. Tú aquí. Por gilipollas. Puedes ir por impostor. Tú. Vení para aquí. Ve. Debemos estar como. Ay, hostia, se me olvidó. Vas a decir que te interesa.
Yeah, at this point I can't blockade Mon Calamari without risking stuff getting away or getting through in the rest of the map.
Hostia, están justo en la sombra están justo en el planetita. En plan, nada de tocarlo. Es como. En plan, esto es otro fallo de lógica. Si esto pasa ahí, tú te estrellas y te baja la mierda. Y vean eso es como caer en picado el planeta, como una lanza. Un meteorito. O, básicamente el tamaño de estas cosas sigue un asteroide. Sigue un asteroide. Imagínate las cosas cayendo en una ciudad de manera vertical. Ver. Cal Dios, sigue el apocalipsis. Pero según recuerdo haber visto, un instituto estelar, van a decir, casi Imperator mide como un metro. No, mide como 1 kilómetro y 600 kilómetros. Ese es el nivel. Son súper grandes. Son súper grandes. Tiene el nivel de una. Tiene el tamaño de casi de una ciudad. De una ciudad, sí. Así como de la mediana o algo por el estilo.
See if you can go for that ISD. Get a couple shots in and take the shields out before it even gets here. What do you got for me? You're useless, Zinj. At least distract them for a bit then. At least some of them are turning around to fight it.
Vale, esto doble detonado de todo.
Well, I get to around that much money and then I spend it all and then I get to around that much again. There's a lot of ships being built and destroyed on all sides here.
Esto es casi todo la versión de los historias, la versión de Ultra Estelar casi Imperator, pero más pequeños. Son lo mismo, pero más barato y más pequeño. Tienen justamente el mismo puto diseño. No le han hecho ningún cambio más el tamaño. Porque un Ultra Imperator y un Victoria son lo puto mismo. Son lo mismo, al menos lo he visto en Parabor, no sé si. Eso que es un Imperator para versión chiquitaco. Tiene el tamaño más o menos de un Venator o algo por el estilo. No, de una Gladiator. Un Venator está como a medio. Tiene el tamaño similar al de un Imperator. Y mira esa nave el de 5 kilómetros, tal vez. Kilómetros, sí.
Venator's gonna die.
Eso vende un Venator, un B. El costo de te imagina el tamaño de una clave y todo.
Can turn around and take on Merciless. And we'll keep the chaffs here on them. Okay, your shields are coming back. You do still have engines. You haven't really lost any hard points. Your health is mostly just gone from different hard points, taking some damage. So that's good. Let's see if we can do the same with Helen Ripley. Octuple. Let's ease around the edge there. Oh shit.
Joder, otra nave de estas. Dios, tío, me cago en la puta. Me cago en la puta. Me cago en la puta de los 100. De las 100.000 mierdas. Dos naves de estas. No se puede. Hay que retirarse, no se puede. Se puede. Es que tío. A ver cuándo me van a dejar en paz. Tío, a ver cómo ganamos la campaña esta. Si es que. Si se están armando hasta los dientes. Vale. Hay que fortificar. Ya que tenemos tino de soba, vamos a fortificar al máximo. Ya no tanto. Pero bueno, probablemente la semana se terminó. Si estaba a ir a la ducha, por supuesto, supuesto los SAE. Ay, sí, ya estoy de vuelta, amigos míos. El Empire Duo. Joder. Dos putas naves de esas. ¿Qué hacemos?
As much as the
no se puede hacer
multi-ship
nada.
level stuff is visually
No se puede hacer
cool,
nada,
it's
tío.
really fun for ship ranges.
Pero bueno, veo que ganan rápidamente. Mordecai, por favor, cálmate.
Get out of there.
Ay, sí, ya se mueren rápidamente las naves estas. Pero ya estamos a punto de perder una. Joder. Joder, por favor, ya.
Now let's get our bombers on the other Peltast. Or on the other Praetor. Same with you. We just need the chaff to finish off this one. Chaffs. Make sure they're hitting the damagey guns.
¿Y qué has comido, Mordecai? Simple, comí patatas fritas con huevo. ¡Oh, qué genial! Tu madre te hace bien la comida. Sí, yo también sé.
As long as the channel stays on track with what it's been doing, I'll hopefully be able to afford to live in a non-cockroachy apartment.
Ay, gracias, menos... Porque soy pésimo cocinando.
Sorry, I replaced my phone because it was shitty. I'm still getting it set up, so it's not on fire. It would like die at 40% battery life left. I was really hoping to get it to at least September, but I bought it refurbished a few years ago, so it lasted probably longer than it should have, not as long as it should have, because the fact that they don't last forever is kind of weird. Just if I could replace the battery, it would have lasted much longer. But oh well. It had a bunch of issues.
Targeting at maximum firepower.
Got him on the ascendancy. There we go. Alright. ISD got away, but that's only because I was too lazy to click on the engines. We killed 2 Praetors, lost a Peltist.
Ay.
After this ISD, I think going for the Praetor is best choice. Bring some of you up a little bit. Yeah, I was mostly focusing the engines. I took them down on the Praetors first, but with the ISD, I'm a bit less concerned about them. I'm actually going to get the Peltist to hit that ISD right now. With the Ascendancy on it as well. Alright, hit the other engine block. And let's start getting some damage onto some of the smaller ships. No, you need to stay focused here. Bombers got a new job. Still got some engines on them. Turbo lasers. I don't like what you're doing or what you're doing. Oh, thank you for turning towards us. You're making my life much easier. There go the engines for you. Well, that's going to come around. This is going to be just easier to send our ships over this way. At this point, sometimes you just got to lean into the pathfinding. Alright, bombers, octuples. Alright, so this will probably be the last battle for this episode. For those watching on stream, hope you have enjoyed the stream, but there is going to be a stream on Sunday night, which will be the night that this episode goes up on YouTube, where we are...
Io la seconda già in 4. Depende
Yeah, so there will be a new Republic playthrough. Again, not to be confused with a New Republic playthrough, but a new Republic playthrough coming up fairly shortly. I'm not sure if it's going to start tomorrow morning or Friday morning. I might end up having the first episodes be Friday and Saturday, and then, or rather Friday and Sunday, and a new type of video coming on Saturday. So we'll see where we end up going with that. So wondering if Charlie lived after the period card. Yes, he did.
Ready to go. Moving to court.
Chaz lives. Thanks, Rhino. Yes, Father Republic, can't wait to spam recusants and vendors. My favorite ships. Keep up the great work. Thank you. You have good taste in ships. With the recusants. Vendors overrated. First day of my second session of Sejep. Congratulations. Taking your first steps into a much larger Sejep.
Ready, sir. Ready for attack. Initiating sweep. Weapons online. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Mad King, Rhino.
Ready for orders. Roger.
I want to get a
I've got a lock.
sensor.
Moving into position. Roger. Form up.
So I'm not sure what else they have here, but I'll try to scout it out a bit. Actually, there is a sensor array over here, isn't there?
Roger that. Waiting orders. Let's move out.
Rhino putting Gus through
Keep going.
college.
Form up. Copy. This way. Over there. I copy.
Putting Charlie through high school.
Executing flyby. Copy. Awaiting orders. Right away, sir. I copy. Underway.
Okay. I don't think we're in that much danger, actually.
En route.
So this map used to lag so much.
Moving to court.
Is there anything actually here? No. But yeah, this map used to lag a lot because there were a lot more river particles. It would just be super laggy for a lot of people. Fun fact.
Yes, sir. Right away. Moving out. Fire.
It's gonna be faster to destroy this or this.
That target.
I think it's probably better to destroy that. Alright, let's start moving up to another landing zone. We only have the one company of infantry, so I kind of want to protect them. And so, as I mentioned, one of the things that I was doing is making a beginner's guide video for Fall of the Republic, just going over some of the mechanics that have been introduced in the mod, so that people who are probably new to our mods have a general idea of what's going on. So covering some galactic and tactical stuff, but I also want to do a video for the rosters for each faction, so maybe one on heroes, one on ground units, and one on space rosters for each faction. I was wondering if that's something that people would be interested in for Thrawn's Revenge as well. Like, if those videos do okay for the Republic, I'm thinking that might be something worth getting up. Worth doing for TR. Especially with space reworks coming up and the ground rework starting. It'd probably be a good time to have that information come out there. Alright, we have a landing zone. Let's get another MMT. That's these. Actually, I can bring in most of these.
Adjusting navigator.
At maximum unit capacity. Production halted.
Fire.
Wondering if we're still on for Father Republic release tomorrow or Friday. It'll be at midnight tonight, so it's about 9 hours away. Thank you, Gabriel. So about that bribe for the double-decker ISD down payment, maybe.
Open fire.
It's
Attack that target. Attacking target. Got it.
the pathfinding in Empire War does a good job with that. I think especially with the reworks, it'll be good to have that. But the guide videos, not necessarily the double-decker ISD. Okay, so I don't want to send these guys in alone right now. May kind of need a repair station.
Secure Able pad. Repair station constructing.
Yes, sir. Yes, Command.
I think the Gilzans can just run on in.
Spearheading assault. Ready.
Construction complete.
Joder, son miles acá. Tiene maquinaria bélica. Originales de un solo lugar.
This
Con
is
eso
kind
vamos a
of a
hacer
problem.
una Blitzkrieg
We're
al
just gonna
completo.
group there and shoot us as we come in.
Keep going.
So I'm gonna try to come in on this side with the Gilzians. This one may as well repair a bit. Go in the main door with the MMTs and see if we can maybe draw them out from here. We'll have this group go in and annihilate the power generator thing. See the Clone Wars trailer? I saw that it came out. I haven't actually watched it yet. Because I only saw that it was coming out as I was supposed to start the stream and I was already a bit late. So I'm going to watch that afterwards. Up, they're coming around. Alright. Let's go around this side. Make sure they're all in position. That back door. When does it release in the UK? Because 9 hours from now is not 12 p.m. Well, it's 12 a.m. that is coming out my time. But 9 hours from now, whatever time you currently are, at 9. I think it's 5 hours ahead for most of the UK. So that's what, 5 a.m. I think? Alright, this is a lot. You guys get in. This is really not good. Jesus. Come on, Rogue One it. No! I should have sent all of them. God damn it.
Se ponen estas cosas envían varios misiles al mismo tiempo.
Alright, I have to
¿Y por qué pueden estar habituados para hacer los cambios magnéticos y nosotros no?
Go
Tío,
around the
tío,
other
eso es injusto. Me cago en todo. Me cago.
Further to the game mod, I capped at 3 SSDs. I have Zim's the other hero, and third, I killed Blue Tank. Yep, there are current and lifetime build limits for units like SSDs. So you can't just spam.
Tío, batalla, pero mira. Debemos conectar el sistema.
You get them the same way that you'd get credits, or some of the same ways you get credits, but also through like fulfilling missions. You get a certain amount per planet per week. Some planets will be good for credits, but not as good for crew. Some will be good for crew, but not as good for credits. So yeah, just a better way to help balance the economy. Like, if you think of most other RTS games and grand strategy games, there's more than one resource, and it's usually more than one resource for a reason. Crap, forgot this planet was this. Okay, this is not a planet we're going to stay at. I was hoping they'd backed off a bit. But yeah, so just a way to help some of the snowballing economy of the game without cutting people off too much, or without cutting us off from being able to do more ways to reward the player. Oh, well, that's not good.
Tactical battle imminent.
Okay. 2938. Get Bahamut back. Some chaffs. Alright. Are we gonna try to get over... Well, I'd like to get over there. But we need ground units again.
Mari, los soldados de aquí son chiíes. No son chis, son chis. Los chiíes es una gama del Islam.
Should only do that on planets that don't have other capabilities. If we can just have a constant flow of ground units,
O sea, sí, eso tenemos que hacer. Debemos hacer una pelota saco pavo.
some of the other ground battles, honestly. Where are you coming? Tangren? Here.
Dios. Si te vienen a conquistarme un peña de esos, yo voy y las ataco por atrás. Ustedes mientras tanto se van a ocupar de esta chusma.
This could be
Que
fun.
los veo venir, que los veo.
Yeah, there were a few textures I missed when bringing over all that fun stuff.
A ver si han venido tantos.
So was that Prussian blue and long snoot? Ascendancy, vindication. Shipus, Hand of Fate. Some carriers, Astroni, and a warlord. Ooh, an interdictor. That's not good. Well, you don't need to move. You can stay. You're just gonna die. Peltis, with that one down, you can change your targets. Here's there. Yeah, I'm gonna try to snipe this one. Oh, yep, got it. And now let's go for one of the capital ships with that.
Holding fire for maximum effect.
That and a furrow in here for the ground units. See if we can do that. The ion cannon is making me sad, but I think we're okay. You still need to go for the MC-80B. Not gonna do a shields? Yes, nice. So let's focus that. Then in the MC-90 needs to go. And you right there. Hit the stuff right in front of you. What's going on with the planet? It's just a missing texture in the Let's Play though. Because I had to copy over the planet models and textures, there was one or two that I missed. We can bring in just this. Did that furrow die? Looks like it. I think that Dauntless killed it. Alright, that MC-90 is down. I'm gonna go back to hitting the shielded stuff here. You guys go up a bit. You stay safe. And try to do that. The ion cannon is really not helping. Let's get the engines. Alright, the Dauntless. We are going to lose a phalanx. We just need to accept that and move on with our lives. Okay, we can move up with the rest of this. Ace Striker and this chaff. Just come in and intercept that Dauntless. Get the engines. It needs to stop running away like that. Okay, now only one of you needs to worry about it. And the other can go for that guy.
Holding fire for maximum effect. Targeting at maximum firepower. They're falling back. Targeting the engine.
Alright. A few smaller ships got out, all the ground units, but still progress. Especially since it cuts off Findar. We lost Art of War, biggest ship is Froro, cross-volley warlord.
¿Qué coño te ve? Te también no te voy a conquistar. Chandila.
Ascendancy. There we go.
Moving into position. Ready to receive orders.
Yeah, like, at a certain point, if you're making enough liberties to make them fit that mold, they stop being the Mandalorians, and they just become CIS-2. They refitted old warships like the Kenosi. Again, that doesn't seem to be what happened, and for the way the era works, it makes more sense for them to just be a non-playable faction on their planets, using what makes sense for the era. Because there were some things like the Meteor Q that they made that were based on some of their older designs from the Mandalorian Wars and stuff, but it doesn't fit with the state the faction was in at that point, especially after the results of the Civil War, and even just what was used in the Civil War, to try to fit them into a playable faction slot. I'm not saying it'll definitely never happen, I'm just saying it seems like a bad idea based on what's there, and if they were to be a playable faction, it would be better to do it in the context of like an Old Republic mod where they were an active galactic power and had the capability to do that. Because otherwise they would be by far the biggest stretch we've ever made for any faction. As weak as the CSA may seem, or the Hapens, even they were in a much better position for the periods of Fall of the Republic and Thrawn's Revenge than the Mandalorians were. Like, we're fine with making allowances for gameplay, but when the entire faction essentially has to be based on those suppositions, it's not just filling gaps, it's creating gaps to fill, then that kind of goes against what we're trying to do. When will Fall of the Republic be on Steam? The plan is to release it in 8 hours. Tarful is hero. We are actually planning to rework how local forces work, like the indigenous units, rather than just being like a bunch of well-armed civilians that just happen to pop out of their houses during a party, and there's like 800 people at the party. So it is possible there'd be like localized heroes like that. So it is entirely possible that you'll get, like, when you're fighting, even if you can't use Tarful and Chewbacca on the galactic level, when you are fighting on Kashyyyk, that they would show up and be units you can use. So I'm assuming everyone's joking about that, but that is entirely possible as a future thing. Glad you're enjoying the contents. But yeah, there are some basic criteria we have for factions in the mods. And the Mandalorians in these periods, they're fairly short of matching up to them. They honestly make more sense in Imperial Civil War than they do in Fall of the Republic even. But there are, again, with stuff like influence rewards, the units they actually had can easily become available to the player. And in Thrawn's Revenge, with the expansion into the Second Galactic Civil War, then that's a period where the Mandalorians started producing some stuff again, a bit more in larger numbers. So, because like at least with the Thrawn's Revenge period, you have stuff like the Kadalbi, which shows that they were back into producing capital ships, and they fought it in the Gai Top War. But during the Clone Wars, so much had happened that I put them away from that. Alright, I think we've killed a lot of their units. Let's just make sure if they want to retreat, they can't. Because we're getting to that point. Can you think of anyone other than the Huts who could even get near playable and follow their pup? Actually, a lot of the factions that show up.
Choose your reinforcements.
Any chance for the GC scenario about the newly formed Empire with the CIS holdouts and Father Republic or no? That would be. We would have to decide whether we want to do an Empire versus, like, if we did an Empire versus Republic versus or Empire versus Rebels thing, it would be in whatever mod that is. A CIS holdouts thing would go. So otherwise, you're just expanding the timeline way too much. Perseverance. Your mom. Legacy of Bell. And it'd just essentially otherwise be starting an Era 5 situation. So like last year, or Era 4 last year of the war. Do you think in the new canon Thrawn is still preparing for the galaxy for extragalactic forces? Yeah, actually the Thrawn comics and stuff talk about it. The Grists. There is a Vong adjacent faction that exists. Scythe can come in. Nasty something. And he can't help her. And it's Shoni.
También tenemos ahí tenemos el Luke Skywalker.
Do you think in the sorry. Do you think you'll add the Haven class station with the boost to clone trooper times? Another option for the barracks. There will be a Haven. I don't know what the exact function of it will be. Reducing the build time for a specific ground unit is probably not going to be what it does unless it was just part of a broader function. Alright, we'll go. Definitely need more of these guys, SERIE. But they're unlikely to be able to attack Bill Brinkley now, so I'm just going to send this fleet around this way. The Republic has conquered Commodore. We've really jumped ahead in planets. I think what we beat.
Joder, Interdictors también en el nivel de Estudor Imperial.
Will Pride of the Core make an appearance for the Republic or no? So, Pride of the Core is a fanon instance of the Mandator using a fanon design. When we do the Mandator, it'll be our own design, based more on the canon information we have on the ship. So it'll be a lot more similar to Bellator, and there won't be a specific ship named Pride of the Core. There's like a 5% chance it would show up in like the ship name list, but we really don't like contributing to the idea that that is either a canon ship or the canon Mandator. Because I really don't like the Pride of the Core. kill the engines while this is within easy range of us. I'm starting to expect the Executor to come in sooner than later. But I don't know if they can actually fit with... Yeah, they can't fit the Executor with both Praetors up. So this is in our favor until then. Why did you get rid of the Y-Wing's ion torpedo abilities? No specific reason. Those kinds of abilities will probably start showing back up again. It looks like part of the core looks like a bumper car to me. I don't love it. Hand-in-hand helper. Is the vassal system in Fall of the Republic? If so, can you add... Oh, Vassic, not vassal. Can you add Grievous Slayer's ability to allows Grievous to revive if it's destroyed, you can't respawn, killed. Vassic is in the mod, but as far as tying his respawning to a building, that's less likely. Right now, I don't know if you've played the beta, it's basically an upgrade system for his flagships. He already has a few ways to escape death. And I think tying the respawning to an ability being present would be a bit difficult to do. Or not super difficult, but it would make it a bit convoluted for the player to track. So it'd be a possibility for later, but we'll have to see how it ends up functioning right now, like how people end up feeling about it. If we feel like he's become too indestructible, then adding more conditions for it would be a possibility, but then people would also expect that anytime he dies, he comes back on the lowest level. So it gets a bit difficult to balance those things with it. So not impossible, but something I'd want to be relatively careful with. Is it me?